Hello, this is iMathit with Samuel, okay? And in today's lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to obtain the derivative of a function from the first principle. So we have y equals 1 minus x raised to power 2 and y equals 1 all over x to find their derivatives, okay? So the first principle is where derivative begin, okay? So given y changes by delta y and s changes by delta s. So I am going to be walking you through the process of obtaining the derivative from the first principle. We are not going to be using the formula, okay? So we are going to have y plus delta y, okay? Then on the other side, you introduce delta s. Anywhere you see s, so you have 1 minus s plus delta s. So graphically, that is going to be the tangent. So you have y plus delta s equals, so let us open the brackets we have on the other side. So that would be x plus delta s multiplied by s plus delta s. So distributing what we have in the brackets, we have s raised to power 2 plus x delta s and plus s delta s and plus delta s squared. So we should put that delta x in the bracket so that it does not look like the delta is separate and the s squared is separate. So we are going to be having 1 minus x raised to power 2 and plus 2x delta x and plus delta s squared. So and on the left hand side we have y plus delta x, the chronic delta. Okay, so at this point let us go on and subtract y from both sides. So but on the right hand side we have y in terms of x, right? So we're going to be writing minus 1 minus x raised to power 2. So because we have x terms on the right hand side and y terms on the left hand side. So let us go on and carry out that. So we have delta s on the left hand side. Now we can put this together. So we have 1 minus x raised to power 2 and plus 2x delta x and plus delta s squared. And opening the bracket there we have minus 1 and plus x raised to power 2. So look at this. So the x raised to power 2 we have there and the negative 1 cancel out those ones there, right? So we have delta y equals 2s delta s and plus delta s squared, right? So at this point, let us go on and divide both sides by delta x, okay? So we divide both the left-hand side and the right-hand side by delta s. So and that's how we obtain delta y divided by delta x is equal to, this will reduce this to 2x, right? When we distribute the delta s to both components on top of the fraction there, and we reduce the other to delta x, right? It was delta s squared. Okay, so as the delta s approaches 0, okay, because the derivative is usually the limit as delta s approaches 0. Okay, is the tangent. So that's going to be 2x, right? And you know, if you had used the probably you know the general principle, when y is equal to a x to the n, the derivative is a and x raised to pi minus 1. Now let's go on and find the derivative of 1 all over s when the function y is 1 all over x. Okay, so we introduce the changes on y and on x axis respectively to the equation. So we have this. So the next thing is we simply go on and subtract y from both sides. So since you already know the process, so we have delta y on the left hand side, and that's equal to 1 all over x plus delta x and minus. So we write y on the left hand side in x terms, right? So let us make that, let's combine that in a single fraction. So at the denominator we'll be having x multiplied by x plus delta x, right? And let us solve the fraction. We would have x minus in bracket x plus delta x at the numerator, right? So and that is on the left hand side we have delta y. So this is equal to this will be x minus x plus s minus delta x, because when we open that bracket with the negative outside the bracket there, that is what we have, right? So that cancel out. So at the denominator we still have x into, okay, let us open the brackets down there. It's not necessary, but we should just do that. So that's going to be x raised to power 2 and plus x delta x, right? Okay, we are at the point where we divide both sides by delta x. Okay, so let us divide both sides by delta x. So that will give delta y divided by delta x equals negative delta x divided by x raised to power 2 plus x delta x and divided by that. Okay, let me multiply this side by 1 all over delta x. Okay, so just to save the time, I hope you understand that. So this cancel out, right? And we have delta y delta s equals, so at the numerator now we have -1, right? And all over x raised to power 2 plus x delta x. Okay, now as delta s approaches 0, so let us go on and see, let's evaluate that. So delta y delta s is going to be equal to -1 and all over x raised to power 2, right? And plus 0, right? Which is negative and plus x multiplied by 0. And that's going to be -1 all over x raised to power 2. That's going to be negative x raised to power -2, right? So you know, if you have used the formula a and x raised to power -1, you would have obtained the same result. Thank you for stopping by. Please hit the like button. Well, until next time, keep mathing it and keep winning.